Discover the incredible truth. My daughter's heartwarming words unveiled hidden family secrets. Emma watched the steam rise from her cup of coffee, its rich aroma enveloping her like a warm hug. The small diner in their suburban town was her sanctuary each morning. Here, the clinking of plates and the hum of soft conversations felt like a comforting rhythm to start her day. At 35, Emma had poured her heart into raising her 10-year-old daughter, Lily, teaching her the essence of perseverance and self-reliance. They often sat together, dreaming out loud over pancakes about a brighter tomorrow, their laughter ringing out amidst the diner's bustle. Yet, as the sun dipped below the horizon each night, the weight of financial struggles settled heavily on Emma's shoulders, making dreams seem just out of reach. One ordinary afternoon, with the light filtering through the attic window, Lily's innocent curiosity led her on a treasure hunt through their old family belongings. She stumbled upon a dusty box filled with letters and faded photographs that told stories of their ancestors. As she opened it, a whirlwind of emotions surged through her, a sense of adventure mixed with an understanding that these letters held truths about their past. "Mom, you've got to see this." Lily's voice pierced through the soft afternoon silence. Emma climbed up, her heart racing in her chest. She hoped to keep the shadows of their family's past buried, but as Lily shared bits and pieces, Emma felt an overwhelming sense of dread creep in. Guilt twisted in her stomach. She had always believed she was protecting her daughter by hiding the painful stories of loss and struggle. "Mom, why didn't you tell me about great-grandma's courage?" Lily asked, her eyes sparkling with wonder, oblivious to the turmoil brewing within Emma. The child's innocent questions hung heavily in the air, a mix of love and challenge. Emma felt like a ghost, trapped in the pressure of unspoken truths. Before the emotional storm could fully break, news rippled through their tight-knit community. The beloved diner was at risk of closing its doors for good. Emma's heart sank, recalling every cherished moment spent there with Lily. This wasn't just a place to eat, it was a heart of their community. Together with Lily, they joined neighbors fueled by urgency and hope to save it. As they rallied alongside familiar faces, something shifted. Emma watched Lily blossom into a beacon of light among their friends, organizing bake sales and fundraisers as if calling upon the magic of unity. Her daughter's resilience stirred something deep within Emma. Could they face the brewing storms together? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let us continue. With each passing day of re-energizing their community, Emma felt the secret weight of her past pressing down harder against her heart. The once clear lines of trust between her and Lily began to blur. Could she finally muster the courage to share with Lily the stories of their resilient ancestors? Would her daughter understand the heartaches that shaped their family? As they faced this crisis together, Emma stood at a crossroads, ready to confront the truth. Could love and understanding bridge the gap created by the shadow of hidden secrets? A moment of reckoning loomed ahead, ready to transform everything they believed about family, togetherness, and the power of sharing one's history. Emma stood in the living room, surrounded by the remnants of their once vibrant childhood. The walls were adorned with Lily's drawings, vibrant colors blending into one another, telling stories of heroes and adventures. Each piece evoked a moment of laughter, a snapshot of joy. Yet, the shadows from the attic lingered at the edge of her mind. The discovery of those letters had cracked open a door she'd kept closed for too long. "Mom, look at this." Lily's excited squeal echoed through the house, cutting through Emma's thoughts. The sound was pure, innocent, reminding her of everything she wanted to protect. Turning toward her daughter, Emma forced a smile, hiding the turmoil churning within. Lily held up a vibrant drawing, one that she was clearly proud of. "This is our family. See? And this one is great-grandma. She is so brave." Emma's heart ached. Courage. It was a beautiful word, yet weighed down with the burden of history. It's wonderful, sweetie, she said, leaning down to embrace her, despite her conflicting emotions. We should do a project about her. Can we? Lily's eyes shone with hope, and Emma felt the tug of responsibility tightening around her. She wanted to fuel that enthusiasm, but how could she share the real stories without shattering the world Lily had imagined? I think that's a great idea. Maybe we can write letters to her too? Emma suggested, feeling the tight knot in her stomach loosen just slightly with each word. Yay! Let us do it. Lily cheered, her spirit infectious. As the days passed and the fundraiser plans continued to grow, the diner was becoming a symbol of their community, showcasing not just camaraderie but the spirit of perseverance. Emma threw herself into the preparations, hoping that maybe, just maybe, it would also distract her from the looming need to reveal their past to Lily. But each time they stacked boxes of baked goods or organized the tables, the unspoken truths loomed larger, defining the very essence of who they were. On the day of the first fundraiser, the air felt electric with possibility. The diner garden was adorned with homemade signs and twinkling lights. Laughter danced in the evening air as families mingled, sharing stories and tasty treats. Lily was a whirlwind of energy, moving from table to table, encouraging people to donate. Emma watched her, pride swelling in her chest alongside a deeper anxiety. As the sun dipped low, painting the sky with shades of pink and gold, something within Emma snapped. She had spent years shielding Lily from the reality of their family's history, stories of loss wrapped in layers of pain, yet filled with resilience. Can I tell them about great-grandma? Lily tugged on Emma's arm, breaking her thoughts. Emma took a deep breath, giving herself a moment to gather the strength she lacked. Maybe she hesitated, but you can share your drawings instead. Show them the heart. Lily nodded, understanding beyond her years. They stepped onto the makeshift stage, Lucy clutching her drawings tightly. Hey everyone! This is my great-grandma. She fought so hard and she's my hero. Her voice rang out clear, ringing with enthusiasm, cutting through the hum of the crowd. As they buskied for donations, Emma felt the weight of vulnerability creep in. But in Lily's carefree recounting of their family's stories, Emma felt the warmth of acceptance bathe her in comfort. Could she really bridge the gap between the shadows of the past and the bright future ahead? Suddenly, a voice from the crowd interrupted. I knew her. An elderly woman called out, her eyes glistening with memories. Emma felt her heart race. What would she reveal next? They both turned, caught in the moment, eyes wide with anticipation. Emma's secrets were on the verge of unraveling, and she would have to decide, would she face the truth, or turn away like she had done for so long? As the crowd drew in closer, a hush fell over the eager spectators. Emma's heart hammered, caught between hope and fear. What would they uncover together when she finally shared the depths of their story? Emma's breath hitched as the woman stepped forward, a frail figure wrapped in layers of memories. Her wrinkled hands shook slightly, but her eyes shone bright with strength. Emma felt the crowd's gaze shift, anticipation mingling with the fading light. Lily's right. The woman exclaimed, her voice resonating like a chorus of distant bells. Your great-grandma was a lioness in a world full of storms. There were days she fought battles nobody knew about, and yet, she always found a way to rise. Lily's eyes sparkled, eager for stories. Emma's heart raced. This unexpected moment dug into her, exposing the very history she had guarded so fiercely. What else do you remember? Lily was bouncing now, entranced by the woman's words. The woman smiled softly at Lily, then turned her gaze toward Emma, a knowing light flashing in her eyes. You must understand, she was more than just a brave face. She had a heart that loved fiercely but carried scars from unimaginable losses. A veil of silence wrapped around them. The crowd seemed to hold its breath, waiting for more, waiting for Emma's response. Emma started, but her voice wavered. She looked down at Lily, who was an oblivious whirl of innocence. Could she stay quiet, hide behind stories that skirted the painful truths? It was one thing to be brave, another to bear the weight of shared histories. Great-grandma also believed in the power of stories, the woman continued. She often said the past shouldn't be buried, it should be shared, understood, and allowed to teach. Isn't that right, Emma? Emma's heart faltered as she searched the woman's eyes for forgiveness. I've been scared, she admitted, her voice trembling. Scared of what history means, scared it might hurt her. But it's part of her legacy, the woman encouraged gently. It's her story, your story. Don't let fear write it alone. Lily tugged at Emma again, eyes sparkling. Mom. Can I hear about great-grandma fighting storms? Please? Emma caught a glimpse of the innocence in her daughter's expression, no judgment, just pure curiosity. Perhaps it was time to embrace the uncertainty. The woman nodded her approval. Tell her about the time your great-grandma stood up for everyone at the factory. Tell her how no one would have their voices heard if it weren't for her courage. A warmth swelled inside Emma, nudging her toward a path she had feared stepping onto for so long. Okay, she whispered tentatively, gathering strength from the warmth of the crowd. Okay, I will. Lily bounced on her toes, catching on to her mother's energy. Emma took a deep breath and began weaving the stories of their family's past, stories of resilience, love, and moments steeped in bravery, relaying them to Lily as if giving her the most precious gift. The crowd leaned in closer, enveloped by the narrative. Emma felt the atmosphere shift as history unfurled in the gentle glow of the lantern-lit night. She could feel the shadows of doubt begin to lift, revealing the threads of connection that woven through generations, and as she spoke, a familiar figure emerged from the edges of the gathering. Someone she never expected to see here, someone from the past she thought she had chosen to leave behind. Her heart raced again, not just from the revelation she was sharing with Lily but from the possibilities of what reuniting could mean. Emma? The voice called softly, resonating with both warmth and uncertainty. Emma's heart dropped as their eyes locked. This was it, the moment everything changed. Would she have the courage to embrace the past fully now that the door was creaking open? Or would she find herself clinging to what felt safest? The weight of the moment hung in the air, as palpable as the sprightly laughter mingling with the stars above. Emma's heart drummed fiercely in her chest. What revelation awaited them now? Emma's heart raced like a runaway train. She stood frozen, her gaze locked on the familiar face that had surfaced from her memories. Brian. The name hung in the air like an unspoken promise, a ghost of her past she didn't know she was ready to confront. Emma, his voice was a comforting murmur, full of hesitation. The laughter and chatter of the crowd faded into a dull hum, leaving only the pulse of her own heartbeat echoing in her ears. Why are you here? The question slipped out before she could catch it, colored by the confusion swirling in her mind. Her eyes darted to Lily, who was still bouncing, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing just outside her world of stories. I came to see. He paused, searching for the right words as if they were trapped in the shadows. I came to see you and her. His gaze shifted to Lily, a mixture of longing and regret etched in his features. Emma's heart twisted. Memories flooded back, late-night talks, dreams that had felt so alive, and then the parting that had left them both shattered. Would she allow old wounds to resurface in front of her daughter? Lily, sweetheart, why don't you gather some flowers over there? I'll be right there, Emma suggested, her voice a thin facade, maintaining focus on her daughter while battling the urge to flee, to hide from the old scars that throbbed with fresh pain. Lily's eyes widened, but she nodded, the enchanted world of her great-grandmother's stories momentarily pulling her away. As she skipped toward the lantern-lit garden, Emma turned back to Brian, the air thick between them. I didn't expect to see you here. I thought you'd moved on, Emma said, grappling with the emotions threatening to spill over. I have, he replied, his hands shoved deep into his pockets, a defense against the vulnerability spilling from their shared past. But when I heard about the gathering honoring your great-grandma, I felt drawn to come. She was everything. Emma's breath hitched. So much could be said about that everything. Tears threatened to spill as she thought of those endless conversations dissecting dreams and hopes. Is this your way of saying you miss us? I miss what we had, he confessed, his eyes softening with nostalgia. You and Lily. The future we planned. A gust of wind swept through, carrying with it memories of summer nights and whispered plans. Hope intertwined with the jagged edges of doubt twisted her stomach. Was it possible that Brian's return could change everything? A palpable silence enveloped them as Emma forced herself to push back the flood of emotions. But why now? She asked. You left, Brian. You chose to walk away from all of this. He ran a hand through his hair, a visible sign of his inner turmoil. I know. I thought I was doing the right thing, giving you room to grow, to be happy without the shadow of what we had. Emma frowned, memories of solitude crashing against her need for companionship. Room? Or just space to forget? No, Emma, please. His urgency caught her off guard. I never wanted to forget. I thought I was unworthy of the life you deserved. Her heart stuttered, struck by his words. Unworthy? That's not how I remember it. You spoke of dreams, of family. Was any of that real or just smoke for you? Every word. Every plan. But life, it happens, doesn't it? His voice trembled ever so slightly, the cracks in his facade becoming real as he leaned closer. I'm here now, trying to make sense of it all. Emma's heart swirled, caught between the past that haunted her and the future that tugged at her. Could she reopen that door? And what would it mean for her little girl, whose innocence danced in the garden far away from their stirring complications? Brian took a breath, hope flickering in his eyes as he took a step forward. Can we talk, really talk? I want to understand what happened between us. What we can become. Emma felt an electric current course through her. Could history reinvent itself? As she looked back over her shoulder, the last bright rays of sunset dipped below the horizon, enclosing them in shadows. Was she ready to leap into the unknown once more? The choice loomed: embrace the heartache of yesterday or risk everything to carve a new future. And in that moment, the quiet rustle of the garden felt like an invitation or a warning. What did she want for herself, for Lily? A small voice tantalized at the back of her mind, urging her to take that step forward, but was she brave enough to hear it? Emma wrestled with the weight of Brian's presence, each passing moment teetering between the nostalgia of what was and the overwhelming uncertainty of what could be. Her heart ached, fluttering with hope and fear, and the shadows around them seemed to pulse in time with her conflicted emotions. Emma. His voice broke through her thoughts like a gentle ripple on a still pond. I know this is unexpected, but I couldn't let the chance pass without at least trying to reconnect. Reconnect? She echoed, her voice trembling. Memories of laughter and shared dreams danced in her mind, each one laced with the sharp sting of memories that had settled into a dull ache. You walked away, Brian. You were the one who thought it was best for me to move on without you. I know, and I regret that every day, he said, his gaze earnest, filled with the weight of his sincerity. I thought leaving would make it easier for you and Lily, that you could create a life without the complications of my mistakes. But instead, I left both of you empty. A knot formed in her throat. Did he truly think that? You were part of that life, Brian. Our dreams were supposed to be shared. Her voice cracked, the past rushing forward like a tidal wave, threatening to drown her in what could have been. I thought about our dreams every single day. And every day, I wondered if I'd ruined them, he confessed, stepping closer, as if bridging the gap between them could mend the years apart. Can we find a way back to them? Suddenly, a joyful cry broke through the tension. Lily returned from the garden, her small hands clutching a colorful bouquet of wildflowers, each one a burst of sunlight against the growing twilight. Look, Mommy. I found the prettiest flowers. The innocence in Lily's eyes pulled Emma back, grounding her in the present. She glanced over at Brian, who was momentarily captivated by their daughter, a wistful smile playing on his lips. There was something undeniably beautiful about a father and daughter reconnecting, even if it was mostly in stolen glances. Those are beautiful, sweetheart, Emma said, forcing a lightness into her voice, though her heart still battled with doubt. What do you think we should do with them? I want to give some to Grandma. Lily declared, not noticing the tension weighing heavy in the air. And then we can watch the lanterns together. Please? Emma bit her lip. Watching the lanterns sounded idyllic, but Brian's presence felt like a storm looming on the horizon. That sounds wonderful, Lily. But what do you think about having a little picnic first? It could be our special time before the lanterns. Lily's eyes sparkled with excitement at the suggestion, and Emma felt a fleeting moment of peace wash over her. She could see the way Brian lit up at the thought of sharing those simple joys. That sounds perfect, Brian agreed, his gaze shifting back to Emma with an intensity that made her breath hitch. Can we share that time? Just us together? The question hung in the air like an unspoken challenge. Emma's instinct screamed at her to protect Lily from the messiness of adult emotions, from old wounds threatening to bleed into their new life. But another part of her, a part she thought long buried, whispered of hope, of healing. Lily clapped her hands. Yay! Let us do it. Emma's heart swayed like a pendulum, caught between allowing herself to feel something she had long denied and shielding her daughter from the complexities of life. Perhaps this was a moment to show Lily the beauty of threading together family moments, even amidst tangled emotions. As they settled down on a blanket in the soft grass, Emma stole a glance at Brian. Could they really begin to rewrite their history? Could this be a way, not just for them, but for Lily to see love and family in all its flawed glory? Okay, Emma finally said, her voice steady this time. Let us talk, Brian. But we take this slow. For Lily's sake. He nodded, the hope in his eyes brightening. That's all I want, one step at a time. As whispers of dialogue began to fill the spaces between them, a realization stirred within Emma. Maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning of forging a new path. But from the edges of joy and healing, doubt still crept in. What would happen if the cracks began to show again? Lily's laughter echoed in the fading light, a reminder of the happiness she wanted to preserve at all costs. Emma's pulse raced once more, and her gaze drifted back to Brian. Did they truly stand a chance at mending their past, or was this a fleeting moment in time? As the first lanterns began to flicker into life, Emma felt a tremor course through her. The evening air was thick with a sense of possibility, the chance to rewrite the narrative of their lives together. But there was still so much to discover and decisions to be made. Lily bounced happily between them, arranging her wildflowers on the blanket while her laughter mingled with the soft rustle of evening leaves. Emma could feel a tremor of something, hope, perhaps flickering in her chest. It felt so right to be here, the three of them, under the budding stars. Can we make a wish on the lanterns? Lily asked, her little face alight with anticipation. Emma's heart squeezed at the innocence of the question. Of course, sweetheart, Brian said, his voice warmer now, as if he were stepping into the role of a father he hadn't fully embraced in so long. What will you wish for? I wish for all of us to be happy together. Lily exclaimed, her eyes shining like the stars above. Emma glanced at Brian, and for a moment, time stood still. It was a simple wish, yet it carried the weight of their complicated history. Sounds like a perfect wish, Emma chimed in, feeling a swell of pride for their daughter. But her mind remained a swirl of questions. Could happiness actually weave its way back into their lives after all that had transpired? The lanterns hung above them, glistening as the first ones lit up the darkening sky, illuminating their small corner of the world. Emma felt a strong wave of nostalgia as she watched Brian reach out to help Lily, showing her how to hold the string just right, how to let it go with a gentle flick of her wrist. It mirrored moments they shared long ago, and they felt strangely familiar, yet alien. Emma? You still there? Brian's voice broke through her reverie. She hadn't realized how intently she'd been watching them, lost in the memory of days gone by. Yeah, I'm here, she replied, forcing a smile as she tried to shake off her cloud of doubt. But deep inside, uncertainty lingered. Can I ask you something? His tone turned serious, pulling her back into the reality of their situation. Sure, she said, her heart fluttering in nervous rhythm. I've thought a lot since I came back. About us, about our family. I know I can't just expect to step back into your life and pretend that everything is the same. I want to be a part of Lily's life, too. But I'd also like to explore where we stand, he said, his eyes searching hers for an answer, for permission. Emma felt the ache in her heart return. What indeed did they stand on? The dream of what once was or the fragile hope of what could be? She opened her mouth to reply, but no words came. "Mommy! Look!" Lily's voice burst through her thoughts as she flung the last lantern into the air. It soared up, joining its glowing companions. Emma followed its trail, the light flickering against the soft darkness, and suddenly she felt as if the weight of old choices hung in the air like that lantern, floating higher and higher, taking with it the burden of those years filled with what-ifs and regrets. "Should we all wish together?" Brian asked, a hint of nervous excitement in his voice. "Together," Emma echoed, her heart racing at the thought of sharing that moment, a new memory to build on. Holding hands, they looked up at the rising lanterns, the glow painting their faces with warmth. 1, 2, 3, Brian counted, squeezing Emma's fingers tightly. As the last word left his lips, they released their wishes into the night. Emma felt a familiar warmth as they let go, a symbol of their hope, even if just for tonight. Maybe this was the first step toward healing. Maybe, but as the glow of the lanterns faded into the distance, a sinking feeling washed over Emma. What if they were just moments, fleeting and fragile? Would their wishes withstand the realities of the days to come? Just then, Lily tugged on her arm, breaking the daze. "Mommy, can we do that every year? Just us three?" The innocence of that question tugged at Emma's heart like never before. Before she could answer, she met Brian's gaze. There was something in the way he looked at her, possibility wrapped in determination. And yet as twilight deepened, a voice her own inner doubt whispered in her mind. What were they really getting into? Should she take the plunge? Or would they sink together in the waves of history that had brought them here? The darkness felt heavier now, cloaking them as uncertainty hung in the air, a cocktail of hope and trepidation swirling around them. "Let us make it our tradition," Emma finally said, her heart torn yet resolute, excitement flickering within. But was she ready to confront the walls they built, ready to take the chance of learning the truth about each other in this new stage of their lives? As the lanterns twinkled like 1,000 little truths in the night, Emma couldn't help but wonder, was there something darker lurking behind their light? And if so, what secrets were waiting to unravel when they finally decided to face them? The flickering embers of the lanterns began to dim as the night settled deeper around them. Emma felt a mix of warmth and chill as the lingering silence settled over the trio. Lily's laughter had quieted, her eyes now focused on the infinite expanse of stars. It was as if the wishes they just released danced among the galaxies, waiting to be granted. "Mommy?" Lily's tiny voice broke the tranquil moment. "Can we make a cake for our next lantern night? With sprinkles?" "Absolutely," Emma replied, the thought of flour and sugar bringing a smile to her face. There was a warmth in her chest at the thought of creating new traditions, something to build on, something to anchor them. She glanced at Brian, who was now leaning back on his elbows with a soft grin, fully embracing the spark of innocence emanating from their daughter. "Sprinkles are essential for happiness," he said, a playful grin widening. The sight of him like this made Emma's heart flicker again, perhaps a chance to rediscover the man she once knew. Yet, as the moment faded back to silence, the gravity of their reality settled in once more. Was this all a dream? Emma's heart cast doubts anew. The weight of the past loomed like a storm cloud, threatening to disrupt this fragile peace. "Emma?" Brian's voice was gentle, pulling her out of her spiral. "I need to know, are you okay with all this? With us?" She hesitated, searching for the right words to articulate the confusion swirling inside her. Was she ready for the questions that might arise, or the truths that could shatter this moment of bliss? I want to try," she finally managed. "Trying is all I can ask for," Brian responded softly, visibly relieved. For a brief second, Emma noticed shadows of their former selves, two people who had loved deeply but had lost their way. The wind picked up, rustling the wildflowers Lily had gathered, and with it came memories, some sweet, others bitter. Emma's stomach tightened as she remembered why they had drifted apart in the first place. Secrets. Painful moments that seemed buried but were never fully laid to rest. Lily's voice, a gentle chime, pulled Emma out of her thoughts once more. "Daddy, do you think the lanterns can hear our wishes?" Maybe they can, Brian replied, giving Lily his full attention. Emma watched their connection bloom, and a pang of longing twisted her heart. What if this unity could withstand the truth, yet doubts lurked in the corners of her mind, ready to pounce at the sight of happiness. She wondered how long it would last, if they could truly rebuild what once seemed lost forever. As they laid back on the blanket, staring up at the sky, Emma's gaze drifted toward the dark clouds gathering in the distance. The irony was not lost on her. They had just set their wishes adrift yet were enveloped by stormy uncertainties looming ahead. Lily, Emma said, her heart weighing heavy, what if the lanterns bring us answers, not just wishes? What do you mean? Asked her daughter innocently. With a deep breath, Emma felt the tension mount. Sometimes, what we wish for is tangled in what we need to face. Secrets don't just disappear. Brian's expression changed, shadows flickered in his gaze. If there are things we still need to uncover, I want to know them with you. Emma looked at him, wondering if he truly understood that some truths could cut deeper than wounds. Was this the start of something new, or the invitation to peel open old scars? Before she could respond, Lily added, Mommy, can we say a wish for a perfect family? Just like in fairy tales? Emma's heart cracked open a little more. Was she ready to confront the fairy tale, or would they find doom hidden within it? We can, Brian said softly, wrapping an arm around both girls. Together, we can explore whatever comes our way. The clouds rolled in closer, a sign of an approaching storm. Emma felt the impending turbulence magnifying the tension beneath their fragile facade of unity. Could they navigate through the storm? As the first raindrops began to fall, Emma felt the weight of secrets pressing down on her. This new tradition of lanterns felt like walking on a tightrope, suspended between hope and truth. Could they balance it all? With turbulent emotions swirling around them, she felt one final question hang in the air, waiting for answers that only time could give. What lay ahead as they ventured deeper into the heart of their story? The first drop spilled onto Emma's face, cool against the warmth of her skin. She instinctively pulled Lily closer, cocooning the child against her. Brian shifted slightly, the expression on his face becoming one of concern as the rain began to intensify. The lanterns, once bright beacons of hope, started to flicker as water pooled around their bases. Let us head inside, Emma urged, her heart racing. She didn't want the moment to end, yet the storm felt overwhelming, threatening to wash away their fragile progress. Lily protested, but we just got started. Her eyes were wide with disappointment. Brian smiled softly at their daughter, then back at Emma. We'll make it a fun adventure. Let us see what the inside of our place feels like with the lanterns on the table. Emma's heart fluttered a glimmer of hope. His willingness to embrace the unpredictable made her feel lighter. Together, they gathered up the remnants of their outdoor night, brushing off droplets from the blankets, while Lily squealed with delight thinking of the indoor lantern display. The cozy warmth of the living room enveloped them as they set the lanterns on the table. Budding flames inside flickered with renewed vigor, casting a warm glow that cradled them in a gentle embrace. The smell of rain mingled with the scent of the candles, filling the air with comfort and familiarity. See, it's just as magical in here, Lily exclaimed as she hopped up onto the couch, her eyes sparkling like the stars they had wished upon. Emma hesitated, still feeling the weight of unspoken truths lurking just beneath the surface. She glanced at Brian, whose gaze mirrored the uncertainty swirling in her mind. It was easier to focus on the beauty of their daughter's laughter, to bask in these fleeting moments of joy, but how long could they hide from the deeper questions? Can we tell stories? Lily's voice rang through the room, filled with innocence and joy. I want more wishes. Emma chuckled, okay. But instead of wishes, let us share what makes us happy. How does that sound? Happy things like cake and sprinkles. Lily's enthusiasm spilled out, and Emma couldn't help but smile. Brian leaned closer. And adventures, right? Every family needs adventures. Emma felt hope stirring within. Maybe healing could come from these simple moments, from storytelling, from the warmth in their home and within their hearts. But there was something electric in the air, the heaviness hadn't lifted just yet. Let us find a story, Brian suggested, raising a hand to his forehead comically. Once upon a time in a land of sprinkles and cake. A little girl named Lily wished for a perfect family. Instantly, Lily chimed in, and they all got along and had the best adventures ever. Emma felt a sudden chill, as if a truth she had buried was pushing its way to the surface. How could she join this happy story without revealing the complexity of her own? Well, every family has bumps along the way, she began cautiously. Things that aren't always easy, like when you told me about how you moved. Did that bother you? Lily's gaze was wide, searching. Brian's eyes shifted to Emma, and she knew this was a pivotal moment. Would she share the fears holding her back, or could they keep the lightness in the air? Sometimes she hesitated, her heart pounding. The storm outside was picking up intensity, and she felt its echo in her chest. Sometimes, we have to face those bumps to discover a deeper kind of happiness. The room fell silent as her words lingered. Brian's expression shifted, intrigued yet cautious, an unspoken question weaving through the air. Would they confront the wounds of their past, or would they let the warmth of the lanterns shield them from the truth? What's deeper? Lily asked, her innocent curiosity cutting through the tension. Emma's heart raced. This wasn't just a story anymore. It was their reality, the path they had to traverse. If she chose to reveal their family secrets, could they really handle it? I think she began, feeling the weight of the moment, that deeper means understanding one another, even the difficult parts. In that heartbeat of silence, as the storm raged outside, Emma realized the storm in her heart was just as fierce. Could they brave it together? Her eyes met Brian's, the unanswered questions hanging heavy between them. Just as she thought she might find a thread, the power flickered once, darkness encroaching. And then it went out completely. Emma grasped for something to steady herself, uncertainty flooding back in as the shadows deepened. In the darkness, they faced each other more clearly than ever before. Is this a sign? Emma whispered, feeling the electricity in the air. Maybe it's a chance, Brian replied, voice steady. A moment of truth surged through Emma. What awaited them in the dark? Was facing their secrets the only way forward? Little by little, she felt the urge to lift the veil begin to take hold. The darkness wrapped around them, a heavy cloak that both comforted and frightened. Emma's heart thudded loudly in her chest. She could barely make out Lily's small form on the couch, her baby blues wide with curiosity. It amazed Emma how, even in moments like this, her daughter radiated a light of hope. Mommy? Are you scared? Lily's voice, though quiet, was filled with innocence that pierced the silence. No, Emma replied, summoning every ounce of courage. Sometimes, the dark can be a little daunting, but it also makes room for other things like our imagination. Yeah. Like adventure. Lily piped up again, her voice brightening the atmosphere. Emma squeezed Lily's hand, grateful for her daughter's enthusiasm. But in the back of her mind, the weight of their shared circumstances loomed heavy. The world outside their walls was wild and unpredictable, just like their family dynamic these days. Brian shifted closer, his presence giving Emma strength. Let's see how brave we can be together, yeah? Emma felt a rush of affection for him. There was something comforting in his grounded nature, his unwavering support even during the storm brewing both inside and outside the house. As if on cue, a loud clap of thunder echoed through the night, making Lily gasp. Okay, let's tell a story. Brian suggested, his voice steady but playful. It's a story about facing the dark. About how sometimes darkness helps you find something you didn't know you were searching for. Like treasure? Lily asked, wide-eyed. Exactly. Emma chimed in, realizing this could be their chance to open up. Treasures come in many forms, sometimes even in revelations about ourselves and those we love. Brian nodded thoughtfully. Like the kind of treasure that helps you understand your family better? Emma felt a tingle of hope. Maybe this was the moment, the spark she never knew they needed. What if our treasure is the truth? What if we find out the things that scare us the most can actually bring us closer? Can we do it together? Lily's voice trembled just a little, proving her bravery was only skin deep, as it was for most children. Yes, together, Brian reassured her, his hand finding Emma's. They were a chain, each link supporting the other. Okay, Emma began, feeling the room grow heavier with importance. When I was a little girl, I went through a hard time. I learned that not everything is what it seems. Sometimes, you discover that love comes with pain but also understanding. The sound of rain began to soften outside, almost as if nature was listening intently, holding its breath. "Mommy, are you sad?" Lily asked, her tone laced with concern and clarity. "No, sweetheart, I'm not sad. I'm hoping that by sharing parts of our story, we can feel lighter. Maybe we can all be a little more open, a little less scared of what's inside our hearts." The room seemed to shift, as if the air itself was changing. Emma could feel Brian's subtle nod of agreement. "Can you tell me more?" Lily asked with innocent curiosity, her eyes like shining stars in the dark. Emma plunged into the truth she had avoided, weighty revelations spilling out, revealing thoughts she had once buried deep. "When I moved here, I was afraid. I missed my old home, and I had to learn that it was okay to feel different things at once. Being scared and being brave is what makes us human." Brian, encouraged by her bravery, chimed in. "And every family has its moments. Those bumps help us understand ourselves better. They shape who we are." Their daughter's thoughtful silence echoed deeply within Emma. It was apparent Lily was digesting their words, she was attempting to navigate this new reality. "What if," Lily hesitated, then continued, "what if the truth is us being together, even if it feels hard sometimes? Like in those stories?" Emma exchanged a significant glance with Brian. "Exactly, honey. It's being connected through the hard and the joyful." The faintest glimmer of light crackled in the room, palm-sized sparks flickering like fireflies around them. Just as it had begun, their moment of connection felt magical in its own right, tinged with the scent of rain mixed with freshly lit lanterns. But even as their lives began to unfurl in honest dialogue, another crash of thunder sounded, jolting them back to reality. Would this lighting serve as a reminder of the honest conversations they could have? Emma's heart thudded, and she knew they had merely scratched the surface. What else could be uncovered as they continued to confront the dark together? With uncertainty still hanging between them like a thread, she sensed an unmistakable pull toward truth. What lay ahead as they illuminated the hidden pathways of their hearts? Emma took a deep breath, bracing herself for the next step. She had stirred the storm within, but could they navigate through it, navigating secrets and whispered truths together? The adventure had just begun. The sunlight streamed in through the window, casting a soft glow over the living room filled with laughter and the tantalizing aroma of pancakes. The remnants of last night's storm had transformed the world outside into a wonderland, trees glistening with droplets, colors vibrant in the early morning light. As Emma looked around her tiny home, her heart swelled with a mixture of love, relief, and a renewed sense of hope. "Mom, can I help you?" Lily bounded into the kitchen, her hair a mess of wild curls, sprightly energy radiating from her every pore. Emma smiled, her heart warming at the sight of her daughter, unburdened by the shadows that had once loomed so darkly. "Of course. You're just in time to set the table," Emma said, her voice tinged with delight. As they moved about the kitchen, a sense of familiarity wrapped around them like a warm embrace. The journey of facing their truths had etched a new bond between them, one forged in vulnerability and understanding. The echoes of their conversations lingered, reminding Emma that honesty had paved a way forward. "Can we do our special pancake tradition today?" Lily asked, her eyes shining. "With sprinkles and whipped cream? Just like we talked about." Emma chuckled, "Absolutely. Today is all about celebrating." The doorbell chimed, pulling Emma from her thoughts. A surge of anticipation filled her as she opened the door. There stood Brian, the sunlight catching his features, illuminating a hint of trepidation mixed with eagerness. His hands, once held defensively, were now relaxed at his sides, a sign of his commitment to this new chapter. "Hey there," he greeted warmly, glancing over her shoulder at Lily. "What's cooking?" "Pancakes. Want to join?" The invitation danced in the air like sunlight through leaves, inviting and sincere. "Only if you like sprinkles." Sprinkles, you say? Brian's smile widened, softening the space between them. Count me in. As they gathered around the table, laughter rang out, mingling with the aroma of freshly made pancakes. Emma felt a sense of completion. The shattered pieces of their shared history began to mosaic into a beautiful tapestry of now. Can we tell stories again? Lily piped up, taking a huge bite of her pancake, chocolate syrup smeared across her cheek. I love our stories. Emma exchanged a glance with Brian, their unspoken agreement blossoming amidst Lily's enthusiasm. How about we share our favorite family moment? Emma suggested, eager to weave their hearts together once again. Okay. I choose the lantern night. Lily declared excitedly, her eyes sparkling at the memories of laughter and the warmth of forgiveness. Oh? That was a pretty magical night. Brian entered the conversation, and they shared a knowing smile. I remember how we felt when we let go of the lanterns, Emma added. It was like sending our hopes up to the stars, wasn't it? Yeah. And the wishes made us think about what we really wanted, Lily grinned, oblivious to the deeper meaning tucked within those words. Brian nodded thoughtfully. Sometimes, it takes courage to put our real wishes out there. And now, we can wish for what we truly want together openly and honestly. A feeling of warmth enveloped Emma as she realized the journey ahead was not just about mending what was broken but nurturing the vibrant future they could create. She looked into Brian's eyes, the worry that had lingered visibly melting away. What I want most is for us to be happy together, Lily's innocent voice echoed, pulling them back to the moment. Me too, Brian said softly, reaching out to rest a hand on Lily's small shoulder. I want that as well, Emma said, her heart swelling. Every family has bumps along the way, but together we can navigate them, filling our lives with joy and compassion just like we did last night. Her voice trembled slightly as she boldly waded into uncharted waters. Understanding and love can help us overcome the darkest moments. And as they each shared their hopes, their laughter grew brighter, illuminating all the shadows that had once threatened to engulf them. In the days that followed, Emma knew there would still be challenges and hard conversations. But there was now a shared commitment to face the unknown as a team. They continued to peel back layers, unveiling more truths about love, acceptance, and the power of family. Their little home transformed into a sanctuary, each room echoing with laughter, memories, and the sweet scent of sprinkles and pancakes. Every space became a testament to the resilience of love, proof that their history, both joyful and painful, only made their bond stronger. One sunny afternoon, as they ventured to the community park for a celebration of the diner's victory, Emma felt a sense of calm wash over her. The community had rallied, transforming their love for the diner into a movement that represented hope and togetherness. As they walked hand in hand, Emma could see the joy that radiated from Lily and Brian. She felt assured this was just the beginning, a new chapter not defined by hidden secrets but by unwavering support. Mom? Lily said, looking up at her with a twinkle in her eye. Will we still tell stories at home? Like the one about great-grandma and her courage? Always, Emma replied, squeezing Lily's hand tightly. We will always tell those stories. They remind us of who we are and how far we've come. As they reached the celebration, Emma took a deep breath, inhaling the fresh air filled with laughter and love. This was family, messy yet beautiful, imperfect yet perfect. No more hiding. Only celebrating all they had learned and the bright future still ahead. In that moment, under the open sky surrounded by friends and fellow community members, everything shifted within Emma. Here, in this vibrant swirl of laughter and light, she finally felt the pure joy of embracing every piece of their story, and together, they took a step forward into their radiant future. Now, if you've connected with this story, you need to subscribe now. Don't miss what comes next. Hit that like button to feed the algorithm and keep these heartfelt tales alive. Comment below with your thoughts and feelings about this beautiful ending. Share instantly with at least 5 friends who need to feel this transformation. Believe me, this is the moment to show your support. Your enthusiasm matters. Don't wait not even one more second to support the journey we're on together.